Hola. Bienvenidos al podcast Slow Spanish Language Podcast. Sí, yes. And today is a very interesting episode because we are not going to talk about songs, poems, and different things that we did in the last episodes. If you are listening to this podcast for a long time, I think that you remember my episode number 1. My episode number 1 is about Latin America. Remember that episode? Yes, if you haven't listened to that episode, I advise you to listen because today I will do something similar. The name of the episode today is Dominican Republic. Yes, in Latin America is my country, República Dominicana. And we are going to do the same thing that we did in the last episode, guys. So what we are going to do, we are going to read first in Spanish, through Spanish, and then we are going to translate and explain all the things that we are reading or talking here. And of course, it's about Dominican Republic. So guys, the text is in the description of this episode. We need to do it together. Are you ready? We need to read together and then I will explain and translate. Got it? Going on. República Dominicana es uno de los países latinoamericanos más visitados. Sus increíbles playas entre las mejores playas del mundo y que se caracterizan por su interminable arena fina y sus cálidas aguas cristalinas han hecho que República Dominicana y Punta Cana sean destinos de sobra conocidos casi por cualquiera. Pero no solo de playas vive el país. La cultura dominicana tiene mucho que ofrecer. Y si la conoces, te enamorarás aún más del país caribeño. El merengue es uno de los géneros musicales por excelencia dentro de la cultura dominicana. Originalmente se interpretaba con instrumentos de cuerda que fueron sustituidos por el acordeón. Más tarde, el trío instrumental típico incluyó el acordeón, la güira y la tambora, que juntos representan la unión de tres culturas: la influencia europea con el acordeón, la africana con la tambora y la taína por la güira. Otro de los géneros musicales típicos de la cultura y costumbres dominicanas es la bachata, influida por el bolero, el merengue y el son cubano, y se la conocía como música de la margue por su temática que giraba la mayoría de veces a la temática del desamor y a la melancolía provocada por este. Actualmente, la bachata ha alcanzado una gran popularidad en toda América Latina y es replicada en canciones de cantantes pop actuales como Romeo Santos y Rosalía. La comida dominicana tiene una clara influencia criolla, es decir, con influencia europea pero desarrollada en América y con ciertos rasgos africanos. Tiene una gran importancia el arroz, la carne, los frijoles o los vegetales, lo que se percibe en sus platos más típicos como la bandera, arroz blanco, habichuelas y carne guisada, o el sancocho estofado de carne guisada, hortalizas, plátano y yuca. Además de la comida, existen algunas bebidas que son clásicas de la gastronomía de la cultura dominicana, entre las que destacan cualquiera que lleve ron, el espirituoso emblema de la isla. Con él se realiza uno de los tragos más conocidos de la República Dominicana, la mamajuana, del que se dice que tiene propiedades afrodisíacas. Otra bebida clásica es el coco loco, especialmente las playas, que contiene vodka, tequila, ron, zumo de limón y crema de coco. El toque distintivo se lo da el propio coco con el que se sirve. Interesante. Guys, this is the text. It's very long maybe for you, but it's very interesting. And now we are going to read and translate and explain. Remember that the text is in the description. We will do it together about Dominican Republic, my homeland, my country. A lot of interesting facts here. Let's see how is your Spanish. República Dominicana es uno de los países latinoamericanos más visitados. The Dominican Republic is one of the most visited Latin American countries. Here is understandable. Sus increíbles playas entre las mejores playas del mundo. Its incredible beaches among the best in the world, y que se caracterizan por su interminable arena fina y sus cálidas aguas cristalinas, characterized by the endless fine sand and warm crystal clear waters, characterized by endless fine and sand and warm crystal clear water. So arena is sand, cálidas is warm, warm. Aguas, you understand, cristalinas, crystal. Han hecho que República Dominicana y Punta Cana sean destinos de sobra conocidos casi por cualquiera. Have made that the Dominican Republic and Punta Cana destination well known to almost to everyone. Yes, guys. And if you didn't know, Punta Cana is a city in Dominican Republic that is very popular. And some people think that this is the country, Punta Cana, because Punta Cana, when you are visiting Dominican Republic, you are going to Punta Cana. And some people think that this is a country, but this is a city, a province, in Dominican Republic. Pero no solo de playas vive el país. But the country doesn't live by beaches alone or only. La cultura dominicana tiene mucho que ofrecer. Dominican culture has much to offer. Y si la conoces, te enamorarás aún más del país caribeño. And if you experience it or if you know it, you will fall in love with the Caribbean country even more. And then going on. El merengue es uno de los géneros musicales por excelencia dentro de la cultura dominicana. Merengue is one of the quite essential musical genres within Dominican culture. So merengue is a very popular kind of music that we have in our country. If you listen to Spanish music or Latin American music, you will know what is merengue. There are a lot of them. Just write on the internet, on Google, merengue dominicano, and you will find a lot of them. It's very, very, very cool to learn Spanish, guys. I advise you. And then, originariamente se interpretaba con instrumentos de cuerda. Originally, it was played with stringed instruments. So, cuerda is string, this kind of instrument that you are playing and has the cuerda, yes? And que fueron sustituidos por el acordeón, that later were replaced by the accordion, an instrument that all of you already know, guys, okay? And then, más tarde, el trío instrumental típico incluyó el acordeón, la güira y la tambora. And later, the typical instrument trio included the accordion, güira, and tambora. So, gira, accordion, y tambora, three instruments, guys. Three instruments connected with our culture, Dominican culture. That together, que juntos representan la unión de tres culturas. That together represent the union of three cultures, guys. So, what I mean, la influencia europea con el acordeón, the European influence with the accordion, la africana con la tambora, African influence with the tambora, and la taína por la guira, and Taíno influence with the guira. Yes, you need to read about Taínos. What is Taínos? Taíno is the indigenous people that were living before in the island, guys. This is like Indian people, indigenous, yeah? So this is Taíno, and guira is from them. It's interesting. So the tambora from Africa, the accordion from Europe, and guira of the Taínos. Very interesting culture. And then, otro de los géneros musicales típicos de la cultura y costumbres dominicanas es la bachata. Another musical genre typical of Dominican culture and customs is bachata. is bachata. Yes, here is understandable. Bachata, you all know what is bachata, guys. Yes, very popular. Influida por el bolero, el merengue y el son cubano. Influenced by bolero, merengue and Cuban song. Interesting. Se la conocía como música de amargue por su temática. It was known as a music of bitterness due to its themes. Interesting. So, amargue can be bitterness. So, the person that is suffer because of a woman, because of a man, and have pain, depression, bitterness, maybe something like this. Okay, guys? Very interesting part. Yeah. Por su temática. It's understandable. Temática is themes or topics. And then, que giraba la mayoría de veces a la temática del desamor y a la melancolía provocada por este. Often revolve around heartbreak and melancholy it provokes, like I said before. It's understandable here. Actualmente, la bachata ha alcanzado una gran popularidad en toda América Latina. Currently, actualmente, bachata has achieved great popularity through Latin America. So, actualmente, currently, ha alcanzado is achieved or had reached also in this context. Y es replicada en canciones de cantantes pop actuales como Romeo Santos y Rosalía. And is replicated in songs by current pop singers such as Romeo Santos and Rosalía. Yes. If you didn't know, Romeo Santos is the most popular bachata singer around the world. In a lot of countries, they know who is Romeo Santos. He is from Dominican Republic and he sings bachata. Very cool songs, in fact. You need to check that songs, guys. Maybe we need to do some songs of Romeo Santos in this podcast, yes? It will be very useful for you. And then, la comida dominicana tiene una clara influencia criolla. Dominican food has a clear Creole influence. Criolla, Creole. The other words are understandable. Es decir, con influencia europea, pero desarrollada en América. That is, with European influence, we developed in the Americas. Desarrollar is to develop. To develop. Remember about that. And then, y con ciertos rasgos africanos, and with certain African traits. So, rasgos is like the characteristic that something we take from someone or from the culture, from the past, ancestors, something like this. For example, our culture has a different kind of rasgos, yes? Like African, Spanish, and so on. Something like this. And then, tiene una gran importancia el arroz, la carne, los frijoles o los vegetales. Rice, meat, beans, and vegetables are very important. Yes, guys, remember about that. Lo que se percibe en sus platos más típicos como la bandera. Reflected in the most typical dishes such as la bandera. La bandera is the flag. This is the name of our national dish, the most popular. We call it la bandera. And why we call it la bandera? Because arroz blanco, habichuelas y carne guisada. 3 different ingredients or 3 different things. Because you know that our flag have 3 colors, red, blue, and white. And we have the kind of food, typical dish that we have, carne, habichuela y arroz. Y what is carne is meat, habichuela is beans, and arroz is rice, guys. So, and we have another one that is also la bandera dominicana, the flag, Dominican flag, the dish that we eat every day. Sancocho, estofado de carne guisada, hortalizas y plátanos y yuca. And what is that? Stew made with stewed meat, vegetables, plantain, and yuca. Yeah, yuca. What is yuca? Yuca is this vegetable that in English is cassava, I think, if I'm not mistaken, yes. And you can check the photos on the internet. It's very typical, very popular in Dominican Republic to eat yuca. And the last part, además de la comida, existen algunas bebidas que son clásicas de la gastronomía de la cultura dominicana. In addition to the food, there are some classic drinks in Dominican cuisine. Yes, además can be translated like however, in addition, or something like this. Entre las que destacan, most notable, any that contain ron. Entre las que destacan, cualquiera que lleve ron. So, most notably, any that contain rum. Interesting, yes. And then, el espirituoso emblema de la isla, the island emblematic spirit. Going on, con él se realiza uno de los tragos más conocidos de la República Dominicana. It is used to make one of the Dominican Republic most famous drinks. Interesting. What that will be? Yes, la mamajuana. This is the drink that is the most popular drink, or maybe one of the most popular drink in Dominican Republic. If you go there for vacation, you need to try, because everyone, all the people, all the tourists that go there, drink this thing, and it's very, very, very tasty, very cool, guys. Need to try at least one time. So, la mamajuana, del que se dice que tiene propiedades afrodisíacas. Mamajuana, which it say to have aphrodisiac properties. Interesting, yes? And then, otra bebida clásica es el coco loco. Another classic drink is coco loco. Coco is coconut, so it's like crazy coconut. If we want to translate this, it can be crazy coconut. Very interesting name for a drink. Especialmente en las playas que contiene vodka, tequila, ron, zumo de limón y crema de coco. Especially found on the beaches, it contains vodka, tequila, rum, lemon juice, and coconut cream. So here is understandable. And the last part, el toque distintivo se lo da el propio coco en el que se sirve. The distinctive touch comes from the coconut in which is served. So guys, this is the episode of today about my beloved Dominican Republic, because I see that the first episode of this podcast, the number one 3 years ago, Latin America, have a lot of listeners all over the world. They like that episode. And I see that maybe it's the only episode with that kind of topics. And why not? We need to create this kind of episode, not only songs or poems, or also tales or fairy tales. We need to talk about our culture a little bit. All the countries from Latin America and Spain. It's very useful, guys. We are learning Spanish with listening, and also interesting facts about different countries that speak Spanish or is part of our culture. Yes, guys, this is the episode of today. I hope that it was interesting, that you like it, that you know now interesting facts about Dominican Republic. Maybe you knew all of them. We can create another episode like this with different country, with different part of the culture. Just let me know in the comments on Discord, Telegram. Just write me if you want something from Colombia, Venezuela, Spain, Cuba, Mexico, Puerto Rico, Chile, Argentina. There are a lot of countries, guys, a lot of choices. So, gracias por escuchar. Thank you all for listening. And remember that you can support me on PayPal and buy me a coffee. The links are in the description of this episode. Thank you for the support. Thank you for the donation. See you soon. See you in the next episode. Enjoy, guys. Enjoy the episode. Dominican Republic, la República Dominicana. Un paraíso. Playas increíbles, comida buenísima y música chévere, bacana. Hasta la próxima.